Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ostrich Hash Podcast, where we put our heads in the sand. Jeff, why do we need to kill all the ostriches?
Because they are ugly, and I don't know. I think they're ugly. I don't think they're a good logo for Nostr.
Okay. Um.
They may be mascots.
Yeah. So, but you just think it's an ugly animal.
No, I don't think they're. Well,
They're a good representation of
yeah,
what the
the
spirit of
AI
an ostrich.
generated the AI generated ostriches. They are. I don't like them. I don't like any AI stuff.
Okay, so
But
they're uncanny valley ostriches. You don't like the uncanny valley ostriches.
what is uncanny valley?
Oh, that's the if you would plot a graph of a, let's say, a humanoid robot and how good it is in terms of how well it mimics a human, right?
Mm,
Then if it's like, and on the left side of the graph, it's like totally not representing a human, and then on the right side, it's absolutely representing a human.
mm.
Then, uh, in terms of like perception, you don't really care if it doesn't look like a human at all. But then comes a certain point where it starts to look like a human, but it's not obviously not a human. So then the graph plummets again because it's like not appealing at all, up until the point where you get actually a convincing human, and then you
I
get
see.
back up again. So then that's the valley in the graph, and
Yeah, I
that's
see.
the uncanny valley. It's uncanny because it's just not it doesn't sit right because it's supposed to be a human, but it doesn't actually look like a human. And this is like it's supposed to be an ostrich, but it doesn't actually look like an ostrich. So
I don't know if that's a reason.
okay,
Have you seen real ostriches in your
um,
life?
I'm thinking I've seen nandus. I mean, they sort of look like them, but they're way smaller. Um,
I see.
I'm not sure,
Yeah, I've seen some, but I don't know if they're actually real ostriches or some variant.
or like at least not in their natural habitat. I can say that maybe in a zoo or something.
Yeah, there was a scam in Brazil like 30 years ago, maybe, called the Ostrich Master or something like that. And the scam was that you would send money to this company, and the company was supposedly raising ostriches to sell their eggs. And then the more money you sent, you were allowed, like, you would receive the profits from the eggs at some point. And then the thing just vanished with the money.
That sounds like every security shitcoin thing.
Yeah, but this one is powered by Nostr or something.
Okay. No, not even a shitcoin. It's worse. Is Nostr part of Bitcoin, or is like Nostr a layer of Bitcoin, or whatever the
I hate the
hypothesis
layer
was?
stuff. The layer
Yeah,
stuff
me
doesn't
too.
make sense.
Yeah, me.
Doesn't make any
I
sense.
agree.
You only have two layers. Why use numbers? Like you only have layer one and layer two.
Yes. Uh,
Yeah,
I
I
so
have.
agree. It's like, okay, we're done about this. Like, stop it with the layers, people. It's stupid. Do you
Yeah,
want to explain why it's retarded, or
no, we can give examples, analogies. We can do analogies. Like, for
you,
example, the fridge can be open or closed, and you call, when it's open, we call layer one. When it's closed, we call layer zero, layer two. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like, is it the pregnant blockchain hypothesis what we're dealing with here?
what is that?
Well, you're either
Okay.
pregnant or you're not. So
Yeah, exactly. It's a boolean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that deals with that entire thing. Uh,
It's top
and the other
down.
stuff I mean, we mentioned it last time, but might as well repeat it here again. So let's not call it. I think I have not integrated this into my own speech, but we shouldn't call it a fee market, but a block space market.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't make any
I
difference. But I agree with you.
I don't mind
Although,
that one. What the one I do mind is verifying and validating.
hmm.
And I would posit that those are two different words, and you can use them for two different purposes. That is very useful to disambiguate stuff that's going on within Bitcoin.
So what's the difference?
So
Verify, you check. I don't know the difference.
yeah, so it's exactly that, right? And even in terms of like, because I looked up the definitions, and one of them has like two meanings, which is the same as the other one, but the other one doesn't have the meaning that the other one has, which is so to verify here is to check to make sure that something is valid, and to validate is to make something valid. And so validation makes something valid, and then to when you verify, you check if it is indeed valid.
Hmm.
So a miner validates because it's the miner that ultimately makes the transaction valid by putting it in a block. And
Well, a transaction is valid before it's mined.
yes,
It's
but it's
just
not in
not
the
mine.
network, right? So you have the
But we
transaction.
already have a concept for that. It's called mining. Like the transaction is mined means that is included in a block.
Yes, but
In a
there's a difference between. So what a miner both verifies and validates, because the miner verifies that your transaction is. So the miner verifies that your transaction is indeed valid, right? To the extent that you validated the transaction with the right keys and stuff and
no,
signatures.
no, no. This is never going to work. This is never going to work. That's not anywhere near the current usage.
What do you mean?
People
So,
use verify and validate just for checking if the things are okay. They
yes,
never use validate for making something valid ever.
yes, but they should, because when we have verify for the other one,
But it's not
so
going
why
to
not
work.
use validate for the one? Because so here's the thing: is like a miner needs to verify to ensure that its own block
So when you
it can be
sign a
valid.
transaction, are you validating it because you're making it valid by putting your signature there?
Yes, and then but it isn't. But then it needs to be validated by the miner as well, because it needs to be put into a block where
So
it
then this
meets
word
all
is
the
completely
conditions.
meaningless. Like
No,
everybody's
listen to
validating.
this sentence: is that the verifier has to the miner has to verify his own block in order to ensure that he can make it actually valid. How do you how do you
Okay,
express that? Right? How will you express this otherwise?
the miner has to validate its own block. No, has to verify its own block in order to ensure that is accepted by the other nodes.
Yeah, okay.
Which is much makes much more sense, and it's a much simpler sentence. Everybody's happier.
Okay.
Okay, this is validate word. Like just let's just eliminate that word from the language. Okay.
Is there any other stuff that we now we're on it?
About words that should be eliminated.
Yeah. Do we like mining? I think we discussed this last time, mining as well.
Address.
Oh yeah, address. Yeah, that's terrible. I also think so
It kind of
shit.
makes sense. The address. It's not terrible. I think. I,
No,
I
but
used to think it was terrible, but it makes sense. However, everybody is misled by it, and everybody thinks people have accounts and then deposit to their accounts
right.
be- because of this name.
Yes, but so there is I think the mental model for how Bitcoin works in this in like the administration stuff of how the transactions and the UTXOs like work. The UTXO model, the, the mental model is not fairly difficult if you just it's a space of it's a space. We have a space, and in those space there are lockers, and lockers can appear and disappear,
No,
and they and lockers
what
and these
a
lockers have
magical space is that the
no,
lockers
it's
disappear. Okay,
yeah. So they appear and they disappear,
why
and
not? Okay,
the lockers have they're not so we can have a dwarf. There's a dwarf in this space that picks the locker, gets the lockers, and puts them in the middle of the space, and he then takes them, and he can also take them away and throw them in the trash. I mean, if you want to specify it. And the lockers have a lock. Okay, so what happens is Bitcoin comes into existence with in a block, right? So we have 50 Bitcoin. That's poof. That's now a locker appeared with 50 BTC in it into it with a lock
Okay.
on it. And then the moment every time Bitcoin is spent, what happens is you open the locker, you take all the BTC out, you throw the locker away, you put a new locker there, and put the BTC into it with a new lock. And if you the description of each block is just all the lockers that get taken away and all the new lockers that get added to it.
What about the
So if you
fees?
well, that's the stuff that doesn't get put into a locker. So
It
so the
falls to
dwarf,
the ground.
yeah, it falls on the
The,
ground, and so then the dwarf can just sweep it up and put that into his new locker.
I think we can use like water, like when the block arrives, it's like rain, and then people go with buckets and they take the rain and put in the buckets. Whenever the water falls to the ground, it gets absorbed by the ground, and then eventually it will become rain again.
That's so stupid.
Well, the
Okay.
analogy I liked more was the coin. Like you have a bunch of coin, each coin is a UTXO, and then you melt all the coins.
Well, that works as well, right? You can also use the melting one.
Yeah, I
I
think
agree.
that's. I
But then
think
the thing with the lockers is that the locker has a lock.
yeah. Then you can use it to explain the scripts and
Yeah.
yeah.
So it has a smart lock, and the smart
So
lock
you
is the
put the
script.
coins inside the locks,
Yeah.
and then you open the lock, take the coins, melt them. Part of that thing goes to the ground, and then the dwarf eats it, and then the dwarf poop is the new block.
Great. Yeah. Great.
Okay, this is the like recommend this episode for people that want to learn about
Yes.
Bitcoin.
So starting Bitcoin, we're gonna explain Bitcoin to you with pooping dwarfs. Brought to you by Fiat Jeff and Constant. Um. Okay. So I don't think the mental model is hard. What we have other confusing things is like we have keys, and what you do with the keys is you make signatures.
So you should replace the keys with PAMs. So you do the signature with the pen.
Right. I guess.
Also, the signature is also witness. So
Yes.
it's there's someone
Yes.
looking while you're writing, but that person actually is the thing that you're writing.
So it's all very confusing. So then,
Yeah,
yeah,
the key analogy is very bad.
yeah. So
Or
the
the
key,
signature. Which one came first? Probably the key, right? And then someone invented
yeah,
signature.
but what you're actually doing is very analogous to the signature stuff, right? And the witness stuff, and that's also something I've been to.
What about the commitment? This one people love it, like, and it makes no. It's completely useless word, but yeah, I think it's useful once you know it. But I don't think people should use it that much. Like they tend to use commitment instead of saying hash. Instead of saying, "Oh, we put this hash here," they say, "We commit to this." And then no one understands. Yeah. Okay.
I guess because it's specified, right? There's nothing more specified than a hash in terms of what it represents, right? That's the point of it. So maybe that's why. I'm not sure.
No, I think the commitment is that you you don't review a value, but you can't change the value
Right.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is very confusing word. Yeah.
Um, something I was uh, so what do you so Nostr is not a third layer of Bitcoin. Do you think
Have
the mailing list should be using Nostr?
yes, I do think it should, but I don't have the software ready for the mailing list lazy people to use. So they
Right,
will have to make it.
because you sent me the Peter Todd post.
Yeah.
But apart from the key, I'm not sure you could create like a little protocol thingy software. You could solve all the issues within Nostr, right? But it would just have to be something more specified or developed.
What issues? You mean you could make it like a forum like
No, so one of the
interface?
thing is like you don't actually know if you know all the things.
Yeah, but that's stupid. You can't know all the things unless you have a blockchain, and you can't even have a blockchain for that because there's no incentive.
Right.
But yeah, if you had a blockchain with all the tweets, how
Well, or
absurd.
trust, right? Or you trust a party or a group like a federation or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you can do that on Nostr. You can just trust.
Right. So and then moving on from that, I was actually thinking it's like the thing with the thing with Nostr is like actually it's just introducing the signature stuff, the keys, the signature keys, the signing signature keys
So
patents.
what should we have instead of signature? What should it be called?
No, for the purpose of where I'm going, it's great. Let's keep signature.
Okay, okay.
Um, to introduce that like to the internet, but there's no reason to introduce it to any bureaucracy, right? So if you at what
So
stage are we going to like transition from like at what stage is like the government, for example, the state going to transition to keys where it's like the prime minister or the prime minister or the president has like the master key, right? But then it's the actual tangible, right? Then it's real because it's actually key. He has the key. It's not just like, well, I have the key only because it says here that I'm the president, right? On the thing on my desk, it says that I'm the president, so you have to listen to me uh, doing stuff. It's more real in the sense that like you express it in cryptographic signatures, and then maybe a computer starts doing something or something is authorized or not. I mean, for the most part, still physical world stuff where people need to do things, obviously. But then the president has like the master key, and then the ministers or however the government is structured, they have
I
like
don't think we
sub
should
keys
ever have that.
all the way down. So here's this thing. So you have the entire organizational chart is just like the key hierarchy of all the people involved, and so you know who's accountable, you know who's responsible, you know who can override things, right? So there's a logic, so there's an organizational logic that you can apply to this key hierarchy, and then subsequently you can make it very transparent in the sense of like who's taking what decision and who's authorizing it, because it's all these keys, and you only need like the registry file of like, well, this is the key hierarchy.
Is that a problem? Like, was there ever confusion in the government about who authorized what or who could
No.
authorize
So the
something?
so the answer is no, but why not transit? So apart from the legacy problem, why not just transition to the key stuff, right? Because I think it would make some things smoother. Because
No,
in
how do
terms
you
of
change?
signature,
How do you tell there's a new
okay,
president?
so the problem is the signatures are bullshit. Do signatures actually work? Like real signatures? I'm signing things.
You mean
These days.
signatures by hand?
Yeah, or like I'm signing these days.
That's
I'm like
complete.
I'm in like a PDF file or whatever, and then I
You
can
click a button and you
click
write.
a button, and then it has this stupid font, and I can pick different fonts of ugly writing. It's like, what on earth are we doing here?
This
This is so
makes
stupid.
absolute no sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But I think it's a ritual, and if someone questions that,
Right, but
then
if
they
it's
will ask the website if the website has some registry about who accessed that.
okay,
But then you
so
can claim it wasn't you; it was your nephew who got you to your computer,
right,
and then your
so
nephew goes to jail.
it doesn't actually solve a lot of the fundamental problems like doing it with digital keys because somebody else could still have used those keys, but um it does make it streamlines it more, plus you can make it like a universal protocol, so then whatever the system that the municipality is using is fundamentally the same system that the state government or the province is using, that your local football club is using for their like organization or whatever, a business or whatever. Everybody is just using the same base protocol.
Yeah, which
um,
is Nostr, right? And then
Um,
Peter Todd is crying because he was wrong again. Okay. Well, I
do you
was
understand what I'm
asking.
saying?
Yes, I am. I was asking if what you have if the president changed, but I think the president doesn't have to have the president key. Like it's just the key of the guy who happens to be the current president, and everybody knows that, right?
Yeah, so you need to update the key hierarchy registry stuff, and that's the big oracle in the system, right?
Yeah, but if you have a key that you can keep for yourself and forever, then that works. Like, but the problem is that people will lose the keys.
No, you can make any key whatever. So if somebody loses their key, they go up to the department of key management, and there are like guys with like these robes on, and there's like torches everywhere. There are no like regular lights, just torches of this dungeon. And you have to go through this big oak
But
desk.
if you had that,
Where so you can hear these chants going if you go down like like go through the hallway. You have to go to the Ministry of Keys, and then there's this dude with like this big ring on his hip, with all these ledgers on it, these USB ledger hardware wallets. Yeah, so those guys they need to. That's like where the single point of failure is to the system. That's where the trust is in the system. But that's something that's something that we apply that to like the government anyway. So
kind
that
of,
should
yeah.
be
But the government does this key stuff, right? Or don't they do this in your low country?
yeah. So well, well, they do it in just by
They do it
your
here.
regular identity. No, your regular identity is like this as is this already your passport. So my point is like if you can get the government
If you
for
need
an
this stuff
organizational
here,
structure,
you need this stuff here to declare your taxes if you're a business,
right?
stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah. But
which is horrible.
but
It's a
is it
nightmare.
a key
It's a
pair?
panopticon.
Yes,
It
but
is
is
a
it?
key pair. It is,
Yeah.
and you have to buy this USB drive with the key inside,
Oh, interesting. No, we don't actually use that.
and then you have to have a Java program in your computer to be able to produce signatures using that USB thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's horrible. This
Why?
is I hate it. Why? Because it's more work for me, and then the government gets everything. I would prefer to have everything on paper and force the government bureaucrats to read my taxes, and then I don't know.
Well, you force them to put it into a scanner. That's what
And
you're.
they
You're
force me
constructing.
to buy these things, and then I have to go to a trusted thing with torches and sing songs like I have to go to a place where they will assign me to that USB thing, right?
Yes.
Yes, they do
Yes.
that. They do
Yeah.
that. But I think it's only for businesses and other
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
circumstances.
So that's but my point here is like you can basically use the same stuff the same type of hardware wallet you use for your Bitcoin or your Nostr you also use for this stuff, right?
Hmm. Yeah, but at which point does this become a real panopticon?
No,
Like,
so okay, and there might be risks here in terms of like some potential things. It's just you this type of infrastructure is not the issue. It's like what kind of structure you then subsequently built with it. That's ultimately the issue. Now you could argue it's like, well, if you start integrating these types of systems, it becomes more trivial to then construct a panopticon. It's like, yeah, maybe, um, uh, perhaps. But on the other hand, it's a lot of the public. So the a lot of the public, you can make things very public and transparent, and that's what I want from like a government or any above board business dealings or whatever, right? Because then if you want to have like a court case or something, you can just go through and who signed off, and then it's easier to verify and
mm,
then subsequently analyze what all these records actually are.
yeah, I think, well, if it's only for the government people, I would be for it. But currently, the government people are not subject to that. Only us, the poor citizens.
Right? Yeah. So I would definitely
And like,
start with the government.
yeah, but we can't control that. But yeah, it would be good, I think, because government employees, they do all sorts of horrible things, and then no one's accountable for anything, and there's no place to complain, and you can't prove anything.
Well, ultimately, it's like this won't help that necessarily either. I don't know.
The
I'm
I'm
just wondering. It's
skeptical.
like we're using these. So, do you know this notion of the key to the city?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard it in stories, but I don't
Yeah.
understand what.
Well,
I imagine it's because cities had walls and a gate,
no,
something like that. No,
no, no. So
what is it?
it was a medieval, I think, medieval phenomena where cities, to a city was being a city had a certain status, right? In the feudal lands, whatever the lord was, the city was actually free. It was an autonomous entity,
Hmm.
and those were city rights. And so the city rights what made the city this autonomous entity. And that was a document where it's like this is a city, and they put that thing they put that thing into a
Documents
chest.
were very short at this
Yes,
time.
and so they had to go to all the hooded figures in order to get it drafted, right? They put it into a chest and then locked that chest, and then put like 10,000 other locks onto it. And that the key to that chest, that would be the key to the city, because that would be the key to actually what makes the city a city, which is this document declaring it this a city, which like which has like a certain autonomy to it.
I see.
So we're
And
doing
who
all this
owns the
stuff.
key? Who owns the key to the city?
Well, some hero. You have to slay the dragon first. If you slay the dragon, then you can go back to the city. It's like I slayed the dragons. Hurrah! Free bear and
Okay,
a key
so
to the city.
after establish yourself as a noble person, you
Yeah.
can be trusted with another responsibility, which is
Yes.
to hold the keys.
Yes. But my
Okay.
point is like we've been doing this stuff forever. We're just using these wonky methods that we have. Like, okay, we put it on some paper with fancy letters, and it's like, oh, that's a very fancy piece of paper. And now we're in this uncanny valley of signatures where I'm doing this stuff in my PDF with stupid fonts, right?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
So when are
It's
we actually so what is this transition to? Because I think Bitcoin is a large part of what Bitcoin is the transition to the paradigm of is what is it? uh I'm blanking out, but the key pair cryptography, right? It's going to a paradigm of key pairs,
Mhm.
and we do it with the money, and then we could also do it with like organizational stuff, or like keys to the city things that can be done. What so when
Oh,
or
is
how are
that
we
is
going to
that the
transition?
crypto anarchy thing?
Well, in the one nice part about it is that the key is something you generate yourself. It does get sanctioned by like the guys in the hoods and with the torches and the stuff, right? They sanction the key, but the key is ultimately something you can create yourself. So I do
Mhm.
think that's a important fundamental part to it, where
Well, I
you
think you
can
just
now.
need like a system in which all the contracts, real world stuff, they're made between these keys,
Yes, that's
and
what I'm
somehow
arguing.
you, yeah, and then you don't need to associate the keys to real people. You only need to associate the keys to,
No, you do, because it's like if well, unless it's Bitcoin, then you don't. But Bitcoin is the only place where you don't.
well, you can associate like you have a, a building or something and you want to rent that, and then you make a contract, but then you can associate that building with a key. You don't have to be a person. That doesn't have to be a person, right? The
Uh,
key
yeah,
writes
sure,
messages saying,
sure,
"Oh, I want to buy this," and then transacts with another key, and then the
sure. But in
government
terms of
thing.
enforcement, yes. But in terms of enforcement, you ultimately it is a dude with like a man with guns, right?
Yeah, okay. You have the man with guns, but the man with guns only interact with keys. Doesn't matter who holds the keys.
Why? Why would they do that?
Well, the
They're
key
they're
sends a
they're
message.
men with yeah, but they're men with guns. Why do they care if they see like the stupid PDF with the stupid signature with the strange fonts? Like they can do
No, no, no,
whatever.
no.
They're men with
You're
guns.
doing cryptographic
Yes,
signatures.
you can cryptographic mumbo jumbo whatever you want. They're the guys with guns, right?
Yeah, but the guys with guns, they're good, right? Because they're state. The
You
state
can't
is a
shoot
good
me because
thing.
I got math.
No, no, no. Suppose you have a signed contract with cryptographic signatures saying that the property whatever was sold from this key to this other key,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the other key is recognized as the new owner, and you have the blockchain. No,
yes.
I don't know if you have. You don't need a blockchain. It doesn't matter.
But this does go to jurisdiction. All this,
Yeah,
so it's either meaningless, right,
no, 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 no.
or it
But
relates to a jurisdiction.
the government knows the contract is valid, so it knows the new key is like the new owner. And then whenever the government receives a message from this new key saying, "There's a guy living in my place. Please go there and remove the guy because the guy is trespassing." And then the men with guns go there, remove the guy, and then everything is okay.
No, then it goes to a court, and then the judge will ask, like, okay, who the fuck are all these people, right? And then it turns out it's like, well, we don't know who actually the owner is. Might be just the computer,
No,
and then
the owner
the
is
judge and the men with guys look at each other and then shrug, and it's like, okay, now we go to the chanting hooded figures and like, okay, please remove this key, and we're gonna add the other key, and we can do that because we are the men with guns, right? So
no, you
it
didn't
always
get
related to
my
jurisdiction.
why would you go to the court like the
Because when you need decidability. So you don't put in the physical world, you can't have
but that's
decidability just based on these abstract keys and contracts and functions where
but that's
you
why
assume that.
who you're proposing that.
Hmm?
That's what you are proposing.
Oh, you so wait, but maybe so technically it could work what you say. It's just like I said, it's about jurisdiction, but you could maybe in the future you can have like robots, and then you have like army robots, and then you program the army robots to
That
listen to the key.
that's sounding very bad. I don't want to go there to this future. I prefer the disorganized mess.
Yes. But you can do any. So the thing with the keys is that you have like the formal realm and you have the informal realm. So the informal realm is like what you do on Nostr, right? You just create a key and then have an account and you say
No, no,
whatever
no.
and
I
blah blah.
think that the informal realm can become the formal realm
No, but then you
without
also the formal realm is what the definition of the formal realm here is like the meta structure or like an implied um
mans with guns.
is- no, 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 no. So so the stupid piece of paper with the fancy writing on it, right? The rules, there are rules. A formal system is like formal, and so there are rules. So there are these axioms. Is like you that's the formal system, and then the informal is like, well, there are no rules. Yeah, well, in the informal, you can also build like robots and then enforce the removing people from the the building just based on your own programming with keys. Yeah, that's possible. Yes. But you don't want that, but that's still gonna be possible anyway, regardless. So yeah,
Okay, okay, okay. I give up. Let's go to the next topic, which
but
is
I know you wanted to talk about runes.
so I'm going to ask you to explain runes to me.
Yeah, like I said, you have to do it, or we have to get another another subject. I was imagining when we talked about fighting the man with the gun with math. It's
Um,
like maybe you can make like a kid show, like Digimon. Do you know Digimon?
Digimon, yeah, yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So then it's like you but then with cryptographic stuff, it's like hash shield. Oh, he's using SHA 512. He's too strong. We're all united with the power of crypto, and then like you start the show. It's like this kid in the forest walking. He has like two friends, and they go on a journey, and like
Well, that's
the kid is looking for his for his father, because the only thing he has like a pendant, and in the pendant it says Satoshi Nakamoto, and so he's out looking for
that could actually be very good,
looking
right?
for his long lost
It's
father, and
much
then we
it's much.
make trading cards like NFTs for it.
Now you ruined it.
No, that's the whole point. You create a cartoon in order to sell merch. What do you think Pokemon is, or Digimon, or all this stuff? It's like
Oh,
you just
Popeye the Sailor.
Popeye the Sailor Man. Yeah, spinach. It's the big spinach. It's a big. You have big pharma and big spinach. They dominate the world.
Yeah, but this would be very good. Like if we have money, if we had money, we could do that. It would be much better than the guy dressed as a big coin, a big round coin. Have you seen that?
I thought it was a good effort. I don't know.
I think it was good. They could have done it like it was humorous, as you said. Like, how do I say this? Well, I was laughing at the beginning, but then it started to explain things, and then it became very boring. They could have made it just comedy. Would have been much better.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was at least it was an effort. Um, I enjoyed it watching it.
Did you watch everything?
I'm not sure to.
It was very big. Like, you could have made some shorts with comedy.
I'm not sure if I've seen everything because at some point
You
it took too
slept.
long. It just took too long for a new episode to come out, and I never bothered revisiting it.
Episodes. What do you mean? I think it's just one video. Like, it's just this guy
What do you mean?
dressed. You didn't see what I'm talking about. You're talking about a cartoon.
Yeah.
No, no, that's not it. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
The cartoon is good too. I think kind of good, maybe.
what are
But
you
the
talking
other
about?
one is made by the Spyro. You know what Spyro is? The Jack Dorsey
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And they dressed the guy in a big coin costume, like it's like a very grunty. I don't know the words. He's a very
Oh no,
sad guy,
no,
and he's
no.
walking
I've
around
not seen it.
through the
So
street.
I did see like oh, so he wasn't Peter McCormick because I did see that bit and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand what's going on. I
I mean
just
that.
don't understand. Okay, so apparently, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even see the video. I was only listening to the audio. Now I'm looking at the video of it. There's an actual puppet there. Oh, okay,
Okay. Enjoy
okay.
the street sounds.
No, I was not aware of this. This this fuzzy Bitcoin.
Yeah. I don't,
Who's winning?
who's who's winning what?
Yeah, the two dogs. Are they fighting or who's winning?
And no, they live in different places, so one can't reach the other.
Ah, what are they saying? It's like fuck you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, Steve.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
speak
fuck
their
you up.
language.
Well, I can't understand because I don't speak Portuguese, so I don't understand the dogs.
Yeah, yeah. There's this
Are there other Bitcoin cultural expressions that we can
debunk.
that you like?
I,
Debunk.
I wanna, I wanna know what's a better expression for signature. Better.
I don't know. It's hard because it's like a
What do
key.
you produce with a key? You make up. Yeah, I think this the key analogy was with encrypting things, like the
Yeah,
garbling of text and then degarbling it.
yeah.
But with the signature is just a proof that you know something. Yeah,
So then is it a stamp or is it a
stamp
pen?
with the key.
Yeah. The key is not a key. It's a
Yeah,
stamp.
the stamp is better.
That's not gonna work, dude.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. We need a fancier word.
Because the
Stamp,
thing with
stamp.
keys, the thing with keys that work is because it with keys it's immediately obvious that it's something you have to possess and in order to use it, and you don't want it to be duplicated, and you don't want to lose it, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So in that sense, key works. It's just you just have to understand that you're producing signature with it. There's like there's like this little ball pen thingy in the key. uh, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't think
Bitcoin
there's
will
a...
never recover these broken words. Maybe that's why
No, but my
there's
point
nothing
is like it's
adapted.
not about Bitcoin. So it's not. It never was about Bitcoin. It's all about the keys. And in some sense, I actually do believe this because the key stuff is bigger than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will only ever work if the key stuff works.
Yeah,
And if the key stuff works, then it's not you just there's no reason to just use it for Bitcoin. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, which I think is like the point of Nostr. But the whole
yeah,
Nostr thing wouldn't have taken off if the infrastructure there was no incentive to build this key infrastructure for this new paradigm, but there was with Bitcoin. So there is actually some development in like now with signing stuff and with the frost and whatever the multi-sig things and the all these things were not actually developed well, but they're now getting developed. So I think that it's about the keys. It's not about the coins actually. It's just the coins was the thing that sparked it off, that first initiated this development, and that the other part here is the servers. It's like it's about keys and it's about servers or hosting infrastructure or however you want to say it. There was nobody ran their own email server or whatever it was, and there were all kinds of reasons for it. But in terms of like a hardware, there's not a particular reason not to run a server. Not it doesn't really cost that much. It shouldn't not necessarily really cost that much. Um, and
well, people could run servers before, right?
yeah, but there's another reason why. So the hardware thing is like because the reason I'm saying talking about the hardware is because it's like ridiculous. The amount of compute power you can actually get is like stupid.
Yeah.
It's like actually stupid. It's just that a lot of software has just become shittier.
Oh, it's
Um,
so shit. It's complete shit. Yeah, but
and
yeah,
plus,
a computer from 20 years ago is still unbelievably fast. Right?
yeah, but the resolutions are a thing, right? So it just bigger pictures is, I think, a large part of what takes up a lot of the RAM and the compute power and the graphics and all that type of stuff. That's something that you just have to scale with if you go to higher resolutions. But for all the other stuff, like
I don't
that
know. I
doesn't.
don't know. Just a picture. Yeah, but yeah, maybe a video.
Yeah, but they're bigger chunks of memory that you need to use and operate on.
Yeah. That's true.
So you need to have that at least. But
I don't know because 20 years ago people had like 1 megabyte pictures, and still today a 1 megabyte picture is still a good picture.
it's even better because you can use AI to enhance it.
No, no, you can't. If you do that, you're selling your soul.
I actually did it. I actually
To
used that.
enhance, did it
Yeah,
work?
yeah. So well, sort of. I used it for the our logo. I used it
Really?
for a logo. Yeah, for the T-shirt. So I made a T-shirt with our the
Oh,
SUV.
oh, yeah, yeah. You told me.
Yeah, but
Did people notice?
um well only
Just post torque.
I don't think Paul recognized the shirt. I'm not sure.
But that SUV doesn't look like an SUV. If it
Mm.
looked like an SUV, then
I'm not
you
sure
have
if I think
thousands of
Robin
people
Rob
cheering.
Robin Linus. I think maybe he recognized the shirt. I think I think he recognized the shirt, but he was on the
And then,
show, so it's like
but he went to talk to you because of it. He said, "Oh, that must be constant."
no. He mentioned it at the end of the evening when he was leaving. I did actually talk to him, I think, during that day. Anyway, what were we? Oh yeah, the enhancing of oh yeah, so the compute power. So but it's not just the hardware. It's like it's an entire paradigm, right? Instead of the server oriented infrastructure that we've been using, and the movement to quote unquote cloud computing. It's also the key with the crux of all of this is the Ballmer quote of developers, 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 developers. You just need stuff developed in to that direction, and then you have that Bitcoin was that for the keys, but I also think that Bitcoin is that for the servers, the personal servers, and we've seen that. I actually, this was my hypothesis, and it has been confirmed, where you suddenly got this movement with the lightning nodes of the umbrel, and then the umbrel, is it umbrel, yeah, then the umbrel
Yeah,
going to adding
there
all
are
these
many
other
others.
stuff, and then
Yeah,
you got the other one. What's the other one?
there are many others. The
No,
first
it
one
wasn't.
was the Casa
Right, it wasn't
Link.
umbrel. There was one before that. What was the one before that? The first.
There's Haspi Blitz, Haspi Boat.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Raspberry, they only did it for, they stuck with it's true, but they stuck with the Bitcoin stuff. But
yeah,
you
yeah.
had one
There's the
that,
Start 9 one.
yep, those guys. But that's interesting because they didn't come from Bitcoin. They got to Bitcoin. They were, I think, if I recall correctly, they were already doing this, so they were already on the
I
personal
don't think
server.
so. I think they were
Yeah,
Bitcoin stuff, Bitcoin people, but
no,
they
if
didn't sell it as a primarily Bitcoin thing.
okay, I'm not sure. For if I recall correctly, they started with the thesis of the personal server and then added
But
Bitcoin
there
to it,
were other initiatives outside of Bitcoin before.
obviously. But the ones within Bitcoin are ones are were successful to the extent that we have Umbrel now, and I do think it's very impressive.
Yeah, but people use it only for Lightning. No, they buy it because they want a
Yeah, you
Lightning
can
thing.
you can run your own
Yeah,
AI.
you make your own, but they do it because they
How
want a
would have we
Lightning.
done? No, seriously, Fear Jeff. We had this AI revolution thing. The
Do
model
they have
leaks.
the AI stuff in these Raspberry Pis?
Yeah,
Does it work?
it's
Like you
slow and
you
it reduced
download,
models, but you can. You know what? The point
you have
is
to
you can
download the
try.
thing. You have to download the thing that's prepared by the big corporation for you, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah, but you
I
can
don't
do
understand
it.
how
You
this.
can you can do it with a simple click by just adding the module on your umbrella.
Why not run these things on a real computer instead of a Raspberry Pi?
That's not the point. The point is you
That's
can.
a
You don't have to run it on a Raspberry Pi. You can run it on your computer.
hmm.
You can run Umbrella on your system. They even, I think they even made it such that you can. It's neat because otherwise it was just it was a little bit hacky at first. But that's not the point. The point is that at some point the AI stuff exploded and Umbrel was there. We had an Umbrel. We have developers, 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 we had something, a platform where you could put it on your own server and just like a module and click it and add it and it works, right? It doesn't even matter if it's good or works for anything useful now. I don't care. The point is that Bitcoin was the
But how
reason.
many people are using these things for real? Like 100 people. I don't believe it's a lot of people. It doesn't make a large difference
Okay,
to the world.
okay. So to address that, it's, I don't know what the numbers are anymore. But a couple of years ago, now there's a Dutch podcast, and he made a tutorial video on how to make a node. I think with Umbrel, and he got listeners to build nodes, set them up, build Lightning nodes, set them up, and then do their first test transaction on a Telegram bot to the show, right, with a message, and then so he read out the messages on the show. It's like, well, we got a new node, and then applause, and at some point, like I think this is 2020, if maybe 2021, but I think 2020, and every month he had about 10 people. for about a year. And there were some months a little bit less, but it was rather consistent in terms of. So then,
Yeah, but that's still too little, too few people.
no, the point is that there is those people were not developers. They were just
Mhm.
enthusiasts, and there was something there that they can download and actually do, and in a weekend get the Raspberry Pi and tinker with it and set it up. And they're
Did
not
you do
computer
it?
geniuses. Yes, I've set up an Umbrel
And
once.
then you
Yes,
never touched it again.
correct. Yes, I actually didn't set it up on a Raspberry Pi. I put it on my laptop. But regardless, um, the point is that it's a paradigm shift. Your complaint is like, well, it's too few people. Well, my point is like there are steps being made, and
Oh,
there are
but
steps being there are steps.
outside the Bitcoin realm, that there was many of these initiatives, like a big
Yes, but none of
thing
them
that you would
worked because
install, and then you would click buttons to install other things. Like they
yes,
have all these self-hosted alternatives to big corporation services, and they're very good. There are many of these self-hosted things that are very good, but no one self-hosts them because it's too hard. So they
right,
made these plug and play things that you can use.
right.
And
The
then I
point
bet they
is,
got more people than the Umbrella people,
um,
which
maybe,
still
but
too few.
okay, there is another the home automation thing is also a reason why people do it. There are a lot of lot of things coming together on this front, but I do think that Bitcoin is leading the charge. Definitely, yeah, and also has like the staying power to keep developing these things. Um,
Mm, mm. Yeah, maybe.
and then it starts to attach like, and then now the AI stuff comes into it, and because you need that, right? In order for the AI things to be useful, you do need to run it yourself, or in some sense run your own system, because you need to run it on your own data sets. And I don't need like mean individuals necessarily, but the like corporations or whatever, they have their
Mm.
own databases and they want to train the system on their own databases.
Yeah, but you have services that do that for you. You pay some money, you give all your data to this company, and then the company.
Yes, but the point is that I think the odds are that we're gonna get like the open source version of this is just gonna dominate outright.
Well, hopefully, although I would prefer that everything stop working. Uh,
You just want to sit in the forest. Stupid fucking technology
all the
ruining
programmers now
everything.
they using the GitHub Copilot thing that sits inside your editor and then fills in the code for you with a bunch of bugs taken from all the code bases that are on GitHub. Have you heard about that?
Nope.
And then everybody's using that. And now I suppose there are many more bugs happening now because of this, because people don't even think anymore. They just, although maybe these people they would produce the bugs anyway.
Nah.
They now just let the computer produce the bugs. But I
Well,
tried to use it, and it had so many bugs. I was spending all my time fixing bugs produced by this computer, so I decided to produce the bugs myself. It's a better use of my time.
the um, the problem is that you this is not sustainable, right? Because then that would escalate. Because you're basically you basically have a model that runs iterations based on its own output
Yeah,
at some point.
yeah, yeah. I hope it implodes because of that.
Yeah. So, but that that's like the first thing with the when the recent AI thing started to kick off, and they had like a snapshot of the internet. I was like, okay, this is it. This is our 1999 in the Matrix, right? Where because in the Matrix it's in 1999 forever in
Really?
perpetuity, I think, or something
No,
like that. It's like, yeah, I think the so in the movie at least, like they say like, okay, this is like the height of because after that it only went downwards to when the robots took over.
yeah, but
So I think
doesn't make sense. How do you reset the
it's a
well,
simulation. It's not real.
no, it's
Everybody's
kind
hooked
of
up.
real.
What's real is that everybody's hooked up.
Yeah, but people take
to a
real
computer.
decisions there. That's the thesis. Like they're actually acting in this virtual world, right? They're not being
Yes,
controlled as in a dream.
true. That's true. Yes,
And
that's true.
the movie says that if you don't do this, if you don't give the people the agency, then the real body stops working or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So you can't trick them. You can't say reset to the beginning.
I don't
Now
know what
you're
the
happy
mechanics of
again.
the I don't know what the mechanics of the thing is, but the point was 1999 because then it was
I
like
think you can
everything
just
was
have
nice.
the time passes, but no. Yeah, I think the movie is flawed. Yeah, yeah.
And the
Revoke
movie
that
is
movie.
plot.
The movie is flawed because you can't prevent if everybody has agency, you can't prevent people from going through the history. Right.
So then you have robots, simulated robots
Yeah.
maintained by the robots who maintain the simulation. That okay.
And then the robots leave the matrix. They go to the external world.
Okay. So the point was what was the point? 99. Yeah. So because now the thing with AIs is like their main function is their noise producers, right? They're very efficient noise producers.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to do, and they're going to pollute the data set that's there, which is the internet that we experience. They're just going to spew it full of noise,
And then they will eat all the noise.
then it's
It
just
would be
get
like those noble families that intermarriage between.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get retard AI. So yeah, it's so yeah. We had our peak. But you can experience I think stuff like Wikipedia. Is Wikipedia going to get better or worse? I think it's just gonna it's done. Wikipedia's done. Take your snapshot now. I think it's already degrading, but take your snapshots now because like soon Wikipedia's nuked.
Really? Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
it has to become more and more of like
How would
hooded
you make?
figures in a hallway with torches and
But it's
on the
already like
background.
that, no?
Well, yeah, in some sense, yes, but it has like a very public nature to it, and really has to start wall off.
Have you
It has to
tried
start to
editing
build a
some
moat.
article? If you edit
Hmm?
anything, your edit will be reverted.
Yeah.
Is there a Wikipedia in Dutch?
Yes, there is even a Wikipedia in Lower Saxon.
No,
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yes.
I think they have few
It has a
language.
really good. It has a really good economics article.
I don't even know what Lower Saxon is, but fine. Does anyone
It's
speak that language?
yes, but it's so it's not common Dutch, and it's not. So you have Hochdeutsch, which is like common German or like the formal German, and you have like formal Dutch. And in the region
They're
in the board
spoken
on the
differently, but they write the same thing.
well, no, so it's spoken differently. It's also written differently. Um, so you have you have formal Dutch and formal German, and then Lower Saxon is the what is spoken in the region in the border between Germany and the Netherlands,
Mm.
and they have a
Yeah,
really good one on economics.
they're so bored at Wikipedia that they made another English Wikipedia called
Really?
Simple. It's all the same articles, but
Let's see.
written like for dummies.
Let's see how far I can get with this one. It's like economie is een wetenschap die zich richt op het maken en verdelen van scarce of krappe goederen en diensten.
Like, can you do a fade out and end the show if you're reading it?
No, what did I just say? Economie is een wetenschap die zich richt op het maken en verdelen van scarce of krappe goederen en
Thank you,
diensten.
everybody. This was the show.
Economics is the science that focuses itself on creating and distribution, the creation and distribution of scarce uh, goods and services.
Very
That's-
original, innovative.
yes, it's the definition of what we mean economic. But then in sort of retard Dutch. I guess you could say. No, that's that's not nice. That's nice. No, it's a nice language. So if you to die, so how would you say to die in Portuguese if you make the literal translation in English?
You die of you die.
Yeah,
Você morre.
it's just straight up dying.
Yes.
Okay. So, but do you have any phrases for dying? It's like this is a real nice subject. Do you have any phrases for dying?
No, I don't understand the question.
Okay.
What's a phrase for dying?
Well, one of them in Lower Saxon, you would say somebody's going out of time. He
Oh,
went out of time.
oh, no, no. We just say die.
I really
There's
like
a,
that.
there's a, no. There's another word, but it just means dying. I don't understand. I don't know the like. They have falecer, morrer, but
Anyway,
people use this.
Wikipedia
It's
is
just like
Wiki-
an attenuated same verb. Okay,
okay.
okay. Let's take a snapshot of Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia is dying.
How do you make
The AI is
a
going to be
Wikipedia
retarded.
noster?
Hmm.
How do you make a Wikipedia noster? My idea is that people can have multiple, like each person can have a same, like each person can have their own version of whatever article, and that's it. You can also vouch for people to curate the articles for you.
Yeah, so it's just that. So that's just then it, right? You have like a reputation of curation associated to a particular key,
Yeah, but you have if you have conflicts, you can
or
have both views. Each group would
but do you
coalesce.
who's who? So would you do that on? So then you have like a key that posts a um list of keys or something or stuff saying this is the stuff that we're that's legit,
No, you
and then you can
constant.
use that to
You
so the
post the keys
index.
that you trust. Like for the articles X and Y, you like this person.
Yes, but then you create an index.
Yeah, kinda maybe. I don't know.
And you need to so you have so the one way to do it, you asked the question, would be to so let's say you have the the guy the hooded robes with the torches on the background
Again,
who's
this guy.
who's doing this. And he's very trusted, right? But he's also a bit mystical and mysterious. You don't know what's going on, um, but you have to trust him. So he has a key. You know the guy, you know who the key is, right? And he makes an event with an index saying these are all the articles with references to all the articles, and then you can just pull up the articles from whatever relay. Well, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter where you get them from, but you at least know that he sanctioned them, or like it's part of his version of what Wikipedia is.
Yeah,
So it's just the index. So you have just a key that people
yeah.
trust or
But
don't trust.
what if you wanna know what a banana is, and you search for an article called banana, and then you find multiple. One guy saying the banana is a blue fruit, the other guy saying the banana is a yellow fruit, and and then you don't know, and then you have to maybe you go.
No, you find the art. Okay, no, you find the articles on Banana that the guy in the hood whatever torch with the key that posted the index says you'd have to look for if you
Yeah, but
want to
okay,
know about bananas. And if it so happens that that guy included multiple articles about bananas where they're
no,
blue and straight, and then that guy is not to be trusted, and you have to go look elsewhere
yeah, but the
for a
guy
better version of
won't
your
have
Wikipedia.
like they won't have an article. What if the guy doesn't have anything about bananas?
Okay, yeah, then
You
you
have
have to
another guy. You have
yeah,
another guy,
you
or
have to look.
you can do a
No, there's a meta structure here where you have a guy who makes an index of guys who
yeah,
makes
yeah. That's what I
indexes
was
of
thinking.
guys who are making indexes of developers, 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 developers.
Okay, let's end this thing. We're repeating ourselves. I think. I believe this show had the most repetitions of the history of this program. and
Well, it
we didn't
helps. It
even.
helps if I keep saying developers, developers,
Shit.
developers, developers.
Okay, the fade out happens now.
Woo.